some Tasmanian tigers still roaming free.
When Europeans arrived in Tasmania, the thylacine was common. Early this century, the numbers were dramatically reduced over the whole of its range. It's thought that an epidemic disease was the main cause, but many were also killed by hunters, as the animal was blamed for attacks on sheep and poultry. Before 1900, a government bounty was introduced, and between 1888 and 1909, over 2,000 scalps were handed in. The hunters were paid £1 per scalp. The last tiger was shot in 1930, and the last captive thylacine died in Hobart Zoo in 1933. This film of the captive animal shows its considerable size, the massive jaws and its very distinctive stripes. Hence the name, Tasmanian tiger. It's actually the largest marsupial carnivore in the world. It would be a tragedy if the thylacine were now extinct in Tasmania. It died out on the Australian mainland several thousand years ago when the Aborigines...
Yeah, that's a wallaby. A little bit of an update on this. This is back in 1991. This video was filmed, and a lot of people don't realise that there's the thylacine group down there in Tasmania, and they've had film footage. A lot of people say, oh no, it's a dingo, it was a dog. But did you notice how the very thick tail at the back of the creature, of the animal, the thylacine? Now, I'm just going to rewind this a fraction. There's the picture I want to show you.
The massive jaws and
Now
its very
watch.
distinctive stripes. Hence the name, Tasmanian tiger.
Right. This is what a lot of people don't realise. You see, look around the anus, you see how the big tail comes out there, looks like a kangaroo tail? Now, if you look at a fox tail or a dog's tail, that's nothing at all like it. It's totally and utterly different. And you notice how the top of the rump comes down past the top of the back legs. So when you see these videos, people say, oh, no, that's a fox, and no, no, no. Look at that very specific bit just there. See, it goes up the top. There's a rump there. When you look at a dog's tail comes out from up here and comes out that way. This has got an extra 3 inches on it, and it looks like a big form of a triangle. Now, I'm not being rude, and I'm not pointing to his bumhole, his anus, but can you see what I'm trying to say? If you look there, that would look like a dog where I'm blocking it off there now, right? That would be a dog. But see, this thing here's got this big, long, thick tail, very distinct. And also, if you look at the shape of the leg compared to a dog's leg down here is longer. This animal here is a shorter bone down here between, what would you call that? Its knee and its ankle, down there. And up here, when you look at a dog down here, it doesn't have this particular shape here either. A dog is more level. A dog comes more across like that. Whereas the thylacine, it comes up there from this huge big thing here. There's a lot of differences you don't see unless somebody like me or anybody else points it out. Then also, if you look at the head, it's more like between, like a possum, but not really a dog. It's a real odd sort of shape. The ears are pointed up where a dog's ears point down. On average, the majority of dogs' ears hang down. It's a really thing you really got to look at. You look at the shape of the muzzle, the length of the jaw, it's the eyes, and there's been a lot of videos. And also see the very front paws as well. See, like that right leg at the back, it's got the knob on the back of the right foot, sticks out the back. Where's my finger? Down there, just down there, it's got this here. That's sort of different to a normal dog. Now, a lot of people, see me as a comedy sort of guy and things like that. I've been out the Australian bush, and we've actually had 2 sightings of these things up there around at a town by the name of Hazelbrook. what's the girl's name? Hazel, Hazelbrook, Hazelbrook, which is up on the Great Western Highway just above Emu Plains, west of Penrith. It's come walking up there up a fire trail from the Gross River. Now, people wonder why would it be up in the Gross River? Well, the Gross River has a lot of small birds, and that's the sort of thing what it likes. And it can come up these bush fire trails and up these rocky sandstone outcrops and come up into people's backyards to their chicken coops and their other bird aviaries and things like that. And they can, just choose through the light better fence and pick their way in, like you just seen there in the video. So yeah, it is plausible that they could be up the Gross River, and it's also not a river that people can drive up there in a boat. The Gross River's a canoeing sort of deep, and even then it's hard. The only time you get up there in a boat is when it floods. Well, if it floods, you wouldn't be going up there because as soon as it stops raining, it dries out, and then you'd be stuck on the bottom of the river. Right up as far as Katoomba and Mount Victoria and Bell. So it's not. It's like a bathtub really. It only gets water whenever it rains, like a shower over a bath. So it's not a flowing river. It's a runoff river. Like if you know what I'm trying to say. But up there, it's got freshwater springs that constantly feed amount of fresh water that come down there. So it's pure, clean water. So that's, the same as the Australian yowie. It's been sighted up there too at Hazelbrook, around Katoomba, either side of the Great Western Highway and the Bellsliner Road. So thylacines, yowie, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, they've been sighted up there between Emu Plains right up there to Katoomba. Yowie Hunters Australia has a lot of stories. Now, there's one there you can go and look at for about yowies. Glenbrook Yowie. Go and have a look at that and watch the video. I know the guy personally. He's not a bullshit artist. He's not a con man. He goes to work for a living, and he just had to be out filming, and he was walking down the same trails I used to walk down up here at Glenbrook, which is a few suburbs down there from Hazelbrook, and he filmed a yowie in the background. So Glenbrook yowie, you actually see it. He worked it out. It was about 12 foot tall. They went up there later on and done a comparative stand where it was standing and where he stood and where the cameraman was, and they reenacted it a couple of weeks later when they realised that they filmed it. They didn't even know that they filmed it, but that's another story. That's a yowie story. That's Glenbrook yowie. Thylacine has also been seen in South Australia, West Australia, far northern Queensland, right up there around the Cape. They've been spotted up there in the outback. They follow the springs where there's water out there in the outback where people don't go. So you think about it, these things were here thousands of years. Now, what this guy commented in this video, what I'm watching, which is Malcolm Douglas with one S, not two. If you want to watch this video, he's doing a trip down to Tasmania. That's why he's got the Tasmanian tiger. It's Malcolm Douglas, Australia, Bass Strait Adventure, 1986. Right, well, then it's re-released in 2020. Right, so 1986.
It's actually.
So no GPS, no YouTube, nothing like that. No mobile phones. All the camera work was done by like Sony, Panasonic, all those sort of big TV sort of channel station cameraman, rolls of film, like Kodak camera and Fujifilm, all that sort of thing. And that's why the picture you can see is a bit grainy. Well, it's filmed back in 1986, so that's nearly 40 years old. But what he does say about the Tassie tiger, the guy there says, they are extinct in Tasmania. Well, they've been proven wrong. Now, I personally don't believe in scientists in the sense when they say, scientists say that they don't exist. Well, the scientist sits in a laboratory or the scientist sits in a university. The scientist does not go out and sit out in the fields 24/7, 365 days a year, and doesn't live out in the bush where these people seem who live out in the bush. He lives in Melbourne or Hobart or New York or some other bloody city. Well, no, sorry. Yowies and thylacines don't go walking down the main street of the local capital city. So, to me, they can go shut the F up, right? I mean, I don't listen to scientists. They talk shit out their ass. Unless they're actually out there in the paddock, hands on the approach, hands on out in the field, or they're a farmer or somebody who's got a reason out there in the bush who then catches sight. Why would a farmer, even a farmer, let alone a policeman, who actually made statements that they've seen them? Yes, a Queensland policeman stated he's seen one up there in northern Queensland on yowiehunters.com. He was talking about seeing yowies in Victoria. Then he popped up. He said, "Well, when I was a policeman up in Queensland, he said I seen a bunch of thylacines up there, at the top, up there around there, up there near the Cape." But anyway, that's another story. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Unless That's why I don't listen to scientists. When scientists say they're extinct, now they said that there was a palm from prehistoric days didn't exist anymore, and here it was 2 kilometres outside of Sydney, 2 kilometres, 2 miles outside the city of Sydney, up there in a valley. They found a prehistoric palm tree, that they said no longer existed. And here was a whole rainforest of these scientists said don't exist anymore. And here's a whole valley full of them growing up there in a valley. Now, that's a tree. So, I mean, trees can't run and hide. So, why didn't the scientists go and see them? Oh, that's right, because the scientists sit in their offices and they don't go out there and have a look around. So, I don't listen to what scientists say. If a scientist says it's extinct, animals have a way of preserving themselves. If they know, and if you were an animal and you knew mankind was threatening your race or creature, you do something naturally. Instinct is to run and hide. So that's why you see tigers run away when they see jeeps in Africa. And you see coyotes run away when they see Americans with guns. And let's go on about like polar bears in Alaska. What do they do when they see a guy sitting on a quad bike? They turn around and start running away because they know that the mankind on the motorbike's got a gun. Why does a kangaroo hop away whenever he sees a human? Because he knows humans have guns and they shoot kangaroos dead. They've seen the other fellow kangaroos get shot. It's just a natural thing. The human being is the worst predator on the planet. We destroy everything. We destroy nature. We destroy the planet. We destroy animals. We destroy the ecosystem. We're the biggest cancer on this planet. Sorry to offend you, but it's the truth. Think about it. You don't see dingoes making nuclear bombs. You don't see possums making cyanide. Anyway, so that's, just being a smart ass there. But anyway, that's just me being me. But anyway, I hope you appreciate my little sense of humour. Anyway, so these things do exist. They've been sounded, as I said, West Australia, South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, Northern Territory, West Australia. So, I mean, they've been sighted everywhere. There was a guy who was driving up his driveway in Tasmania, driving home to his sheep farm in Tasmania with his wife, and they come around the corner, and the three of them just walked across the road into the long grass, clearly in the headlights, and they seen those stripes and that bum, that backside, and the kangaroo tail. And the guy kept on saying to them, "Are you sure it wasn't a fox, which was brought out here by the Poms from bloody England?" Yes, thank you, England. Another bloody miserable thing to send us out here was foxes. Foxes have killed off a lot of Australian native wildlife, the same as cats and lantana. But anyway, I've said all that before. Anyway, and they said no, it had distinctively had stripes on its back and it had a weird walk. Now, if you look at the length of the front legs and the length of the back legs compared to a normal dog, you're going to get your, let's say, a not a German Shepherd because it's got that weird ass on it. Let's say a Labrador or a Retriever, and you compare the outlines, take away the colour, and you do superimpose in your mind. So, like, you look at the two side by side, like this picture here, and a golden retriever or a Labrador or even a black panther cat, you'll see there is a total difference. Now, this thing is a marsupial, so it's not a cat; it's actually a marsupial. If I remember correctly. Anyway, I get too old. Anyway, that's it there for me. Just a little thing on thylacines. I do have people on my channel that want to hear about thylacines. So if you want to go down and see the story, that's it there. Malcolm Douglas, Australia, Bass Strait, Australian Venture, 1986, right? Relaunched by Advartis Videos, Advartis Videos, 38,000 views. So get in and watch him if you want to get in there and see it. See the big, long, thick tail, and how it sticks out away there from the backside now. I've got a friend over in America, he knows who he is over there in New Mexico. He asked me about it, so there you go. There's a story on it. So I'm going to send a copy of this to him. So there you go, Cozzy. Don't say I don't do nothing for you. Anyway, so see you later, Mr. Hominoid. Hope you just enjoyed that little quick chat. I don't do documentaries. I'm just hominoid. See you later. By the way, if you don't know what hominoid is, it's a hominid. If you don't know what a hominid is, it means a human being. Mr. Human. See you later.